New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams. NYC.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Knick of Time Show here, give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about this Knicks versus Thunder game with Julius Randle out with COVID protocol. It was a chance for these young Knicks, these young Lions to prove, to see if they can carry the torch and extend their winning streak from 3 to 4. But they fell short to the Thunder, 95 to 80. Led by RJ Barrett, who gives you 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals on the night, but not much else from anybody else on the scoring end. Emmanuel quickly gives you 11 points, Alec Burks gives you 9 points, and the Knicks cannot defend the three-point line or hit shots to save their lives to pull this win out. Now that leaves the question, is Julius Randle more needed than we actually think? Or the Knicks have this game and just need a few more games under their belt to prove that they can pull out wins after today? We're going to talk about it. We're going to break this game down. But before we do, you already know what it is. I'm going to introduce my guy, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building. Tough game tonight for the Knicks. But we're going to get into the stats right quick.
Yes, sir.
So, as you know, the Knicks lost tonight 95 to 80 to the Thunder. Barrett led the way, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Like Jay said, quickly 11 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And those are the only 2 players in double figures. Everybody else was in single digits. And here are the Knicks shooting numbers for the night. The Knicks were 30 of 81 from the field, 37% from three-point range, 8 of 41, 19.5%. Now, compare that to the Thunder. The Thunder shot 41.4% from the field, 36 of 87, and they shot 18 of 43 from three-point range, 41.9. And the Thunder are the worst shooting three-point team in the NBA.
Bruh. Yeah, some tough stats from these Knicks and these Thunder, man. But I'm gonna break down the game. But before we get into the breakdown of the game, I'm gonna start off with the positives. And if there was any positives tonight, Brian, it was RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett stepped up. The Thunder don't really have, any kind of guys in the middle. All season long, RJ Barrett hasn't really been able to finish amongst the trees. He started off the season like in the high 72 percentile. Should finish at the rim at like 72%, and then quickly fell and to be one of the worst finishers in the league. But tonight, he had none of it. He went to the hole repeatedly, ended up hitting 50% from field goal percentage on 26%, and a lot of it had to do with his dribble penetration and his pick and roll with Mitchell Robinson. What did you see from RJ Barrett tonight, Ryan? And do you feel like this is a start of something new, or can this be prolonged and brought into other games after this game versus the OK City Thunder?
Well, I'll say this. RJ Barrett was one of the few bright spots for the Knicks tonight, because when the three-point shots were not falling for the Knicks, it seems like RJ Barrett was the only guy that had it in his mind that, you know what, my threes are not falling. Let me attack the paint, especially with the Thunder, because the Thunder does not have a legit shot blocker in the middle. So RJ Barrett knew that, okay, my shot's not falling. Let me drive into the paint. And when he was able to drive into the paint, he either finished at the rim or he created other opportunities for Mitch to finish at the rim because he pulled the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Or on a couple of plays as well, when he drove to the rim, he was able to find open three-point shooters as well off the drive. So RJ Barrett had the right idea tonight, just off the simple fact that when your shot's not falling, you attack the paint. Because when you attack the paint, especially with a small team like the Thunder, either they're going to converge in the paint, and then you can pass out to open shooters, or it's going to be an easy finish out the rim because they have no shot blockers. So RJ Barrett definitely played smart tonight. And can it carry over to when the other guys come back? It should, because RJ Barrett is showing that, he can finish at the rim.
Right.
and that he can play make as he's going to the rim, and he's definitely shown that the pick and roll with Mitch definitely does work. It's just a matter of when the other guys come back, how often are they going to run those type of plays for RJ Barrett to actually capitalize on those opportunities.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was a welcome sight that he can finish at the rim. Can it continue? That depends on the coach. That depends on the coach. We actually said the game before that we would like to see RJ Barrett get more touches, and now it's his time, and he's proving that he can finish. The passing though, I mean, listen, people got open shots, and that's all you can ask for. He didn't really show the high level pass I'm used to seeing from him, but he scored. He did what his team needed him to do. So I'm not even going to comment on his passing that much today. But all in all, I like what I saw from Barrett. He finished left hand. He finished right hand. The 3-point shot was still something to be desired. If I'm looking at the 3-point shooting stats from RJ, let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I believe he was like 1 of 8 or something like that.
Yes, 1 to 8, 36% from the field. But like you said, leading scorer, 26 points, 4 turnovers. But I mean, what else can you do when you're the only guy doing anything? But the offense in general, Ryan. I know people are saying I blame the coach for the offense. I normally probably would, but there's so many moving pieces right now. I'm not sure if I can totally blame Tibbs for this. Right, you have Obi Toppin, right? This is the big reveal. We really want to see Obi Toppin here. Obi Toppin on the night, if you're looking at stats, Obi Toppin on the night, I think he had 5 points.
Let's see. 5 points on 1 of 4 shooting.
5 points on 1 of 4 shooting in 27 minutes. Obi Toppin, he didn't, play 27 minutes. You would think it would have more scoring opportunities than just 4 shots on the night. But this is kind of one of those things that's weird when you separate the dynamic duo, which is Obi Toppin and Immanuel Quickley. We've seen the Obi Toppin and Immanuel Quickley lob every single game this season, and right now we didn't really get to see that. Even if you're looking at let's see. I got some stats to pull up. Do I have the stat? Okay. Well, there's a plus minus stats. Obi Toppin and Immanuel Quickley actually have the highest plus minus on a team. I saw something absurd. Like Quickley has 155 on the plus minus, and then Obi Toppin is behind them. And then on the other side of that ball is Julius Randle, who has the worst plus minus on the team. Which is interesting to talk about. But I feel like Obi had some nice moments in that first quarter. He had some nice dribble drives and pass offs. He made some nice dribble drives and pass off. Defensively, he was solid. I feel like he was rebounding well in the first quarter or so. He ends the game with 7 rebounds on the night, but it just seems like we need a little bit more on the offensive end, and it's actually even a little more rebounding in general, because we were out rebounded by this Thunder, who doesn't really have a pure center. I think by 5. I know you have the numbers, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I do have the numbers. Let me see. Knicks rebounds 48. Thunder rebounds is, let me see. Actually, it was actually pretty close. 48-49. They only out-rebounded us by 1.
They out-rebounded us by 1?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right. But even so, with Mitchell Robinson out there, who's 7 feet tall, tallest thing out there, I don't think that we should be out-rebounded or even have it be close. Okay, I'm looking at the numbers, Ryan. It's saying 59-55.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I'm on NBA.com. When I look at team comparison, it says Knicks out-rebounded them by 4, 59-55. But when I look at team, it says 49-48, unless I'm looking at defensive rebounds. But even then, it looked like those are the total rebound stats. So
I got you.
I guess it's 59-55 then.
Right. So I mean, this is one of those things, like the pros and cons of having Julius Randle, right? As bad as a shooter, he has the turnovers, yes, but when Randle's playing, he's probably the best rebounder on our team.
Yeah.
Definitely hurt. It might hurt us in this little game stretch when it comes to the boards out rebounded by the OKC Thunder. But I'm hoping moving forward we can find more ways to involve Obi into the offense. He's kind of been relegated to kind of like a spot 3-point shooter / cutter, and didn't really get that much touches. But it is what it is when you have a whole new offense and new players in that first unit.
Yeah. In the first quarter, I feel like there was more. In the first quarter, the Knicks attacked the paint more, and I think it was better ball movement in the first quarter as well. Like I had no issue with the Knicks offense to start the game,
Right.
because you had guys cut into the rim. Because I think even though Fournier had a terrible game, I've seen Fournier cut to the rim, a few times in the first quarter, and they were passing the ball around. I think that's how Obi was involved, because people were attacking the paint.
Right.
And then of course from that you get opportunities, because the Thunder, they're small in the paint, so they're more likely going to converge, and then you have guys who are open, and then you pass the ball around, you get the open shot.
Right. Even Mitch got some too. Even Mitch got a couple of easy lobs at the beginning too. I'm sorry. Continue, Ryan. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So in the first quarter, with the lineup the Knicks had today, the only way they're going to win is if they played like that in the first quarter. But what happens is, as the game went on, I feel like the Knicks got a bit too 3-point happy. Some of the threes, I agree. They were good threes. They just didn't hit the shots. But I also feel like the Knicks settled a lot too on the perimeter with a lot of 3-point shots as well. And when the three is not falling for you, you have to try and find different ways to attack the paint. And I feel like that's where the Knicks offense really stalled, because when you're settling for threes, you're not involving guys like Toppin, Mitch Robinson, etc., when they have a legit advantage in the paint against a smaller Thunder team. So I think that was one of the issues as to why the Knicks offense couldn't cook today.
Right, and they were daring us to shoot them too, because they was packing the paint for real. Even though some of those finishes RJ had, they were over like 2 or 3 people. So it's like it was one of those things. It's like at the end of the day, you have to take the over ones. But I also feel like you're right too, because even Emmanuel Quickly, right, had 11 points on the night. 4 or 12 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. He was starting to have success when he was getting his little mid-range game on. He actually shot a set shot from the mid-range. It's like, I think it's like the 4th of the season, right? And he shot like a little floater too. So I think that the in-between game is something for Quickly that he probably should have went to a lot more. But also, like, the role changes, I feel like the young guys haven't really got into the mindset to be as aggressive or as on both sides of the ball as they were when when they weren't starting or when they were trying to make a point. You know what I mean? Because McBride gets to start today. McBride gets to start today over Kemba Walker. So Kemba Walker tweaked his ankle during practice. McBride defensively, McBride is McBride.
Yeah.
McBride is McBride. But defensively also, he had to, he's guarding SGA, who's having an amazing year. He almost looks like the way he's playing right now. He looks kind of Kawhi-ish the way he's playing right now. Like the way he's doing the slow motion Euro step, getting to your body, finishing. Instead of finishing the mid range, he's kind of finishing at the rim. Kind of a height advantage when it comes to McBride, but I do feel like him trying to find his new role with the starting unit. He wasn't as aggressive as he was with the second unit when it came to shooting, and maybe in general, separating that second unit, I feel like some of them kind of lost their edge a little bit. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, it's always different when you're usually coming off the bench and you're pushed into a starting role. It's always different, because I feel like when you're coming off the bench, you don't really have to reserve your energy as much, because you know that you're not playing 30 minutes or so in a game. You're going to play like maybe 15 to 20 minutes, so you're more likely to go all out.
Right.
And just play with energy, throughout, your minutes, because, you come off the bench, you're there to provide energy. But when you're a starter and knowing that you have to play 30 to 35 minutes, you have to kind of pace yourself throughout the game. And I don't think guys like Obi, McBride, especially being their first starts, I don't think they know how to pace themselves yet throughout a game. And, being in a new role is going to be tough. So that could be partially as to why that could be part of the reason as to why they didn't perform well tonight. But also just touch on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I would say that McBride's defense was a win on him tonight because if you look at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's stats, he had 23 points off of 24 field goal attempts, and I feel like whenever a player has more field goal attempts than points, that's a win right there.
Yeah, absolutely. 37% from the field from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I feel like they started to figure him out later in the second half a little bit more. But the thing is, once we started figuring him out, that's when the teammates started to get involved. And he started doing the penetration and kick, which was kind of why we lost the three-point battle. And they got so many open threes on the night. Worst three-point shooting team in the league. Hits ridiculous amounts of threes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think you're right too. I think it was a combination of things. I feel like separating our bench and finding a new fluidity with that second unit hurt us because our bench usually outscores other benches, not so much tonight. Missing key free throws. Obi Toppin, who's been shooting free throws really good all season, for most of the season anyway. Shot 3 of 6, 50%. RJ Barrett 5 of 9. 55%. Mitchell Robinson 1 of 2. Those are free points, and of course, hitting our open threes also hurt us all night. But yeah, man. Next game up though, we got the Raptors up. Hopefully, it's just a less deer in headlights situation. I know RJ will be up for this Raptors game, and I'm hoping that we actually tweak some things with the offense. Actually, hit some shots too. Hitting a couple of shots can change a lot here.
Yeah, man. I mean, watching this game tonight, it might be hard for some Knicks fans to admit, but Kemba was definitely missed tonight at the point guard spot. And I feel like even though we've been hard on Randle, when Randle's at his best, Randle would have definitely helped tonight with the way the Knicks were playing. So maybe we shouldn't jump on the whole get rid of Randle yet bandwagon or replace Kemba bandwagon as of yet, especially knowing that these young guys, they're not going to play consistent every game. Of course, we would love and hope that they would, but the fact of the matter is tonight proves it. They're not, and even though we would love for them to get extra playing time, maybe especially if the Knicks are looking forward to winning games, guys like Kemba and Randle may be more important than we thought they were.
I mean, it's one of those things. Okay, it's a one-game sample size, right?
Yeah, one game.
So it's one game. You're gonna see how they react to the next game. You don't want to overreact or underreact. They're still young guys. They can definitely turn it around. But I do feel like they kind of were, when everybody's shooting bad at the same time. You figure like it's a headspace thing at that point. And like you said, Randle has not been good this year. You're looking at the stats, it's up there. Down 41% to 33% from 3. Down 43% from 3. 35%. And the turnovers are also down as well. Averaging more turnovers this season. But what he does give us sometimes is the rebounding. And like you said, the paint touches. So something that McBride doesn't really do is he doesn't have that little blow-by speed as of yet. He's kind of been like a 3-and-D point guard. And he could also... And so I feel like his effectiveness wasn't as strong because he wasn't hitting his 3-point shots. And also, I feel like he didn't really get a chance to actually run any pick and roll as well. So, I mean, that might have kind of litigated his effectiveness as well. So maybe even the next game, as good as RJ Barrett has been, maybe we try to divvy up the pick and roll situations between McBride, RJ, and maybe even, I mean, Fournier was horrible today, but he had a bad ankle, so I'm not going to even harp on that too much.
Yeah, and of course I'm speaking as a, devil's advocate because, you would think that looking at tonight's game, people would be like, yeah, maybe we do need Kemba, maybe we do need Randle, but we, like you said, it's just one game. We need to see more of a sample size of the Knicks playing without those guys to see if they can really run with the young guys or if Kemba and Randle are really needed.
Right. Exactly. But, all Knicks just need to make shots, man. Knicks defense did pretty well, even though the 3-point barrage was a little bit ridiculous. We still, at the end of the day, we held them to 95 points, which is like another 4th game in a row we hold the team to under 100 points. So that's something to be said. All right. First caller up. I see we have a caller coming up. We got Jason from the Lower East Side. What's going on, Jason?
What's up, fellas? How's it going?
All right, man.
Yo.
Okay, considering. Okay, considering.
Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man.
I think you guys are overanalyzing the game a little too much. I think they just didn't hit shots, and I think a lot of them were good shots, and they couldn't hit anything, all of them. I mean, I don't know if that's the worst shooting performance, but it's got to be one of the worst shooting performances, and it was every single player. And that's like some people are like, well, they should have drove more. These guys are shooters. Like that's what they do. McBride, Grimes, Fournier, IQ, Burks, they're shooters. They're comfortable shooting threes. They just couldn't hit anything. Like, I don't even think the defense was that bad. The other team, they were hot, and guys were hot that haven't even been hot this year. Like Ty Jerome, Ty Jerome. He was good in college. He hasn't been good in the NBA. He was hitting all these threes.
Right.
Like, it happens. I mean, it sucks. I was pissed, but I don't think it was like, I don't think the Knicks played terrible. Like, some people are criticizing Tibbs, and I'm like, I don't see it. I just think they just couldn't hit anything. I mean, nobody was got it going. And then in the second half, RJ gets it going, and there were some plays where, like, he would drive and he wouldn't kick the ball out. But it's like, can you blame him? They keep missing.
Yeah. I agree. Especially the first half, I feel like we missed a lot of open shots. For real. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to say I blame Tibbs, because, like, you put in a situation where you have starters out and you have McBride starting with Obi, who's never started before in his life, and you just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what happens. So I don't really blame Tibbs as well. We definitely need just to hit shots. I agree with you there. And that's pretty much the basis of it. Is there small things that we could have did differently? Probably. Was it really time to implement that with the short amount of time we had to prepare, with Randle coming out and Obi starting and only one day to, get these guys on the same page? Probably not that much time to prepare and put together a game plan to even do the stuff we're even guesstimating to do. So it is at this point. Yeah. Next, hopefully if we shoot better, maybe we look a whole lot better versus the Raptors.
Yeah, the free throw shooting and my fault. I was just saying, the free throw shooting and the 3-point shooting definitely killed the Knicks tonight. That was definitely the main cause as to why they lost.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, and then, like, a lot of people were like, they're making like these crazy statements about RJ based off of just one game. This is one game. Let's see if RJ plays good the next two, because he's been trashed this year. And I've been arguing with Knicks fans left and right because they can't accept that. And I'm a RJ Barrett fan, but let's be real, he sucked this year. And a lot of fans, they can't accept that he's been bad because, they love him, and I don't know. But he was great tonight. Hope he could be good the next game. And stop blaming Tibbs and everyone else for RJ bricking layups, because he hasn't been able to hit a layup this whole year. Today he hit his layup. You noticed that, right? It was crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, you telling me it's Randle's fault that he can't make a layup? Like, come on, I don't get it. Like, let's just hope he plays well. But I don't want to make a lot of people making sweeping statements that, we need to run the offense always through RJ. This and this. Let's see him play well for more than one game, and then I will agree with you.
Yeah, I agree, man. You need more than the sample size. You can't underreact to games like this. I think one thing you can say though, and I've said this before about RJ, about Evan, about Randle, is I do feel like some of these guys need the ball in their hand more to feel comfortable. So when they say not to say that it's not Randle's fault, but it feels like when you have a bunch of guys who need the ball in their hand to be comfortable, it makes it imperative that the offense moves from side to side and there's more ball movement, so guys can get in rhythm to actually score and do the things that we can see them do. So that's the only thing I can really take away from that. Yeah.
Like, if you want to be a great player, you want to win a championship, you got to get over that. Because if you play with Kawhi Leonard, you ain't going to have the ball. If you play with LeBron James, you ain't going to have the ball. You play with any of the best players in the NBA, you're not going to have the ball. So you have to learn how to not be ball dominant all the time. And I feel like that's just the case with all these players, because none of them are going to be like the best player on a great team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's
That's all I got, man. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man.
Absolutely. Shout out to my guy. Thank you for calling in. And also shout out to Harlem 9000 who gives us a $9.99 super chat. It says, "You can't run Obi with a center who can't shoot. Trade Mitch for Miles Turner and watch how things open up for guards and Obi." Woo! He's with the trade. He's with the trade Mitch train.
Man, I mean, the way I've been reading comments about Mitch and how fans saying that Mitch still out of shape and this and that, I wouldn't be surprised if many more Knicks fans are feeling the same right now, based on the comments I've been seeing tonight.
Yeah, Mitch. Oh man, Mitch with what?
He had 12 rebounds.
Yeah,
I think 9 points. I think.
Yeah, 9 points, 12 rebounds, and a block. I don't think he had a terrible game, to be honest with you. Unless maybe y'all saw something I didn't, but I don't think Mitch had a real terrible game today.
Yeah, I didn't think he had a terrible game either. It's just that he just disappeared at moments. But besides that, I didn't think he played bad. But if you read the comments, like, people were getting at Mitch tonight, and I was like, damn, y'all acting like Mitch played some atrocious game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Mitch today too is like they had the spot up shooting centers tonight, so Mitch was kind of taking away from the basket a little bit more. That's why his blocks weren't there. But when he had the opportunity to kind of protect the paint like he's done that. I feel like he's done a better job overall in covering the 3-point line. So I'm not gonna get it on Mitch per se. Do I believe having a stretch 5 here would help us tremendously? Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't deny that. Would I trade Mitch right now? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the price is going to be for Miles Turner and how expensive that's going to be for us. So, but I do agree that having a stretch 5 would ultimately help the Knicks for sure. All right.
Yeah, I think that's also why whenever you see Obi and Randle on the court together, I think that's why it kind of works, because Randle can play that stretch, that stretch 4, stretch 5 that you need, and then that gives Obi more space to operate in the paint. So I can definitely see how that could work.
Absolutely. All right, next caller up, JT. Let us know what you want to talk about, JT.
Yeah.
I needed the year today, man. I needed to cheer up. Shout out to my guy, JT. What's up,
hey,
man?
Hey, man, salute. Happy New Year. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. And we're going to start off on a positive. We're entering the new year with everyone, hopefully everyone's healthy and safe. And that's probably as positive I'm going to get during this rant.
Okay.
But honestly, it was just we didn't hit our shots. That was the biggest thing. Shots, free throws. I don't know if the Monstars took away these guys' talent. I don't know what happened, but it was a pretty bad showcase. The thing is, though, is what I can see why people are getting at Tibbs is because of the schemes. Like, you got 5 guys on the court playing at 5 different paces. Is like, it doesn't work. This is why, like, we're forcing these threes. We should have been killing them in pick and rolls all night. Mitch should have been in. Quickly couldn't shoot a 3 to save his life, but his floaters was on point.
Right.
His floaters was on point, looking like early Quick from last season when his floaters was money and whatnot, and we didn't take advantage of that. That should have been easy. Double screens, quick drive to the basket. He floated, throw up the floater, and then that way they always say when the ball players see the ball go through the hoop a lot, they're like, all right, you know what? Then maybe their shot will start falling. And it's like these guys it just shows that they still have a lot to learn as playing with each other as a team, because like they don't know how to capitalize off of each other's strengths. It's like they're so one-dimensional with this 3-point game, and then the ball, and then sometimes they got to really work on that 7 seconds or less, because you see guys like Quick, RJ hold on to the ball for like 9-10 seconds, and it just swallows up the offense, and then everyone's just off. Like sometimes somebody just throw a Hail Mary, like I hope and pray that it goes in, and it happens too many times. This is why games like this we're always losing. So it's like you can see it's like the game is too fast. It's like when you're watching any team, like when you watch the other team got control of the pace versus the this is why Derrick Rose is important.
Right.
Derrick Rose can play fast and he can control the pace, even though they're playing fast while allowing Quick and Obi to run and gun. Gotcha. And none of our point guards are ready for that. So it's just, this game is frustrating to watch because they really just gotta buckle down and get, because this is a very winnable game. This is a very winnable game. We didn't need Randle for this game, and it's not even a shot at Randle. It's just, we were a better team on paper, but they weren't playing on. Everyone wasn't on the same sheet of music. That's just that's pretty much my thought process on that. And as far as what was the other topic, as far as trading Mitch, it don't matter who you trade for if the players cannot basically take advantage of their strengths.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. We can have Miles Turner on this team, but if the same thing keeps happening where it's black hole offense, whenever Randle, RJ, Quick, who else got the ball, it don't matter. It's not gonna, we're not gonna flow. So that's just what continuity wise that's important, so these guys can learn to figure it out and play with each other, and then that way we can start taking advantage of winning games that we're supposed to win.
Right.
So,
other
than that, what's up? I'm sorry.
Now, what you said makes a lot of sense. Even like the shot, I'm looking at the shot distribution chart. Okay, Ryan's came back in. Like, okay, RJ had 20 shots. I feel like the flow, the offense, the third quarter to me was the craziest quarter when it comes to the offense. 'Cause I feel like, even though it was a part that was when Grimes, I feel like he was forcing his shots. He went from passing the ball well, and he only shot 6 times. But I feel like the times he did shoot weren't the right shots.
No, not at all. It seemed everything, even though those guys had wide open shots, you could still see it was rushed. Their feet weren't planted. It weren't set. It was like they were playing hot potato the whole time. And it's like, I don't know if it was the pressure. I don't know what it was. But those guys, like I said, the schemes, like it's like just slow down and like give the guy the second to give the player the second to collect themselves and shoot the ball. And I'm quite sure they have a better chance of making a shot for it. Because even though RJ was cooking, but it wasn't really productive cooking because he was holding the ball too long. Where it's like if he ever had to make a decision, it's like you don't know what's going on. Because like I remember, I think it was Wally who said it when he had the ball in the corner and he was going to shoot it for 3, but he wasn't confident in it. So it's like he was still figuring out as he went. So it's just a lot. It's just one of those things. Like they just got to keep on. They just got to keep running. That's just the best way. Like I said, it's like everybody wanted the kids to play. This is what's going to happen when the kids play. Dude's got to get better. Grimes got to get better. OJ. Obi.
Right,
OJ.
Yeah. all those guys got to cook. But I had to call in last game of the year. Like I said, we always hit all 82. Make sure
man.
y'all like, subscribe. Y'all have a happy New Year. I'm out. I'll see y'all again on Sunday.
Absolutely.
One more time for the New Year.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy. I do believe we can have a chance to do some better things, but sometimes natural talent does take over. And as much as I despise Randle, I don't despise Randle. Let me take that back. As much as I despise Randle's play as of late, I do think there is a little bit of a correlation between him and Walker being out and us having our lowest scoring game of the season. Just a little bit. Like even the most unbiased, and I'm not saying Randle's an all-star. I'm not saying he's been playing well for us, because he hasn't, and he's been making all the wrong shots. But I do feel like missing your highest scorer and highest rebounder might have a little bit to do with why we only scored 80 points and got out rebounded by a Thunder who's the tallest player today. Like tallest player was like 6'8", and maybe Bukowski shoots threes. Like
yeah,
there might be a correlation. There might be a correlation.
Maybe, but Knicks fans ain't trying to hear that, because to Knicks fans, Randle's been trashed this season. So therefore, whether Randle's in the lineup or not, Knicks would have still lost.
All right, exactly. And if we did hit our threes, that would have definitely made a big difference. But when you can't hit threes, you got to find scoring somewhere else. And we wasn't able to find scoring somewhere else. So scoring would have to be at that point through pick and roll. If you don't have a post player, our scoring would have to be through pick and roll, right? Like who's going to be pick and roll players? RJ and Mitch, maybe Obi and Quick, So when we can't score, and Obi's in that starter lineup, maybe we go RJ, Mitch, Obi, Quick. Maybe bring quick in there to do pick and roll. Oh, I don't know. Like maybe you have to figure something out for the next game. I don't know. We got to think about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though if Kemba remains to be out. Maybe Thibs should go with quickly in the starting lineup with Obi as opposed and have McBride come off the bench. That's if Kemba is not healthy, because if Kemba's healthy to play next game, he's going to be starting. But just in case, like if he's still not healthy, maybe move quickly into the starting lineup and have McBride come off the bench to see how that works.
Maybe, because McBride did a good job on the defensive end today, for sure. But you probably need a little bit more offense. And you know what? When we saw McBride play, we kind of said, we don't expect him to shoot the way he did, like that first game. And the same thing for McBride. We expect them to play defense, and they did. They played defense.
Yeah,
they definitely did play defense. But both of their shooting kind of left them, and hopefully that returns during this next Raptors game. Next caller up. I think we have Reaper up next. Shout out to my guy, Big Reaper. Let us know what you want to talk about, sir.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Thanks for taking my call. Happy New Year to Ellis, Ryan G, the chat. 2021 overall, it was a good year. Not great for the Knicks, but,
right.
It was a good year overall, so I'm
Absolutely.
happy. But yeah, as far as the game today, it was, I don't know, it was a little frustrating at times, but, there were some things I felt like we did lack a little creativity on the offensive end.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were pretty spot on. We kind of not being able to take advantage of the size of Mitch and also the size and athleticism of Obi. I felt like we could have done better doing that, whether it might be through pick and rolls, at least try and add a little more, or, I'm not a coach, but it kind of felt like they just, they didn't do enough of that. It starts with preparation. So some of that you got to put a little bit on Tibbs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, too, is some of it may be on Mitch. I don't know. Maybe they just don't trust him, because I kind of felt like all they had to do was just lob the ball up to him, most of the time, just throw it towards the rim, only where he can get it, because every time I kind of see it seems like he's stealing off his man, but then they'll just take the shot. And I'm like, and it seems like all they have to do is either throw up a little lob towards the rim and he'll catch it because he's got his man sealed off and then go up.
Yep.
Or find a good lane to pass the ball to him. So it was a head scratcher why they weren't doing that. So that was a little confusing. And I'm wondering if that kind of discouraged Mitch a little bit, because Kids pulled him out quite a few times because, honestly, Mitch, he wasn't getting out to his man. It wasn't even he was slow on rotations, but it was just his man would kind of roll out to the three-point line. He wouldn't follow his man. He would just leave his man out there. And Tibbs got so frustrated and so pissed, he kept pulling him out of the game and put Gibson in. But if you notice, Tibbs brought Mitch back with 2 minutes left, almost 3 minutes left. But that's because Gibson is 40 years old. The dude can do but so much, He's 40 years old.
Yeah, he got tired at some point.
30 minutes a night.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so it was that's the one thing I noticed. The one thing that may not be very popular to say right now, but because everyone loves McBride, he's ready on the defensive end. But on the offense, I know it's only a very small sample size, but from what I have seen, because he's not able to get to the basket, just being able to get, basically drive to the basket, take 2 steps, and try to go up, just try to go up strong. 1 hand, 2 hand, whatever. I haven't seen him be able to do that. I don't even know if he's done that once. If it's not a fast break, in a half court, I haven't seen it do it once this year.
Yeah.
And, so he's honestly with McBride, he's really, honestly, right now, the defense is starting level defense, but his offense is looking like backup at best, honestly. And I know it's only one game. I'm not trying to act like I'm a prisoner of the moment because it's one game, but I've been watching McBride he hasn't played a ton this year, but the times I watch him play, he just doesn't drive to the basket. He's kind of got this weird thing, issue Quickly does. It's almost like if they have to take 2 steps to go to the basket, it's they glitch out or something. It's a bad program. It's almost like there's a glitch in their program.
They want to get
like,
blocked. They're under 6. They're like 6 feet tall. It's like I don't want to do it.
Yeah, so it's something he needs to work on. I'm not saying he's like I said, his defense is really good. His defense actually got even better as the game went on, which is crazy. It's like Shea Gilgeous basically. By the fourth quarter, he was essentially locking Shea Gilgeous down. At that point, he couldn't really do what he was doing the first quarter. So he's a very good defender, and hopefully, he gets better.
Right.
But we just didn't have enough. The only people that played today that looked like starters on our team, honestly, although Obi didn't have a great game, he looks like a starter to me because his aggressiveness, the way he plays, and also the talent, athletic talent. And RJ, I'm giving RJ a hard time about him not making layups, but I kind of disagree with the other guy. I think hopefully this is the start of like a good stretch for him that he continues this from here on out. I feel like I'm actually at the point now where I'm not saying bench Randle, but they need to change the offense where then it has to be. I think they should just run it through RJ. We may suck a little bit, but just have Randle be a role player sort of, where they can get him on, get him shots on pick and rolls where he's like, run the pick and roll. He rolls out to the sideline and just, takes an open jump shot or rolls to the basket and gets an easy layup. He just needs to they need to make him do that and just have RJ run it. Because honestly, that's better than what we're doing. I'd rather see RJ miss layups. At least we're making an attempt at the basket rather than have Randle just, dribble the ball away, 4 to 6 times a game. So it's so that's where I kind of disagree with the previous caller. Like, well, I've been really hard on RJ too. He has played pretty trash because he had like a couple of good games early in the season. Then he had like a 14-game stretch where he was just horrendous.
Right. Then he scored.
And
then he did well for a stretch right before protocol. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if he can, and it's always, everyone has said it's always been the same thing. If he can make his layups, he's going to be fine. And so I'd rather just see him miss layups than, give Randle the ball. Because right now, the way our team is built, I say all the time, because of the way the team is built around Randle, we depend on him too much, and it's a double-edged sword. And so if he's playing bad, we're going to suck. So you might as well just try to find a way to start diversifying away from Randle. Just kind of diversify your offense a little bit, and so you're not so dependent on him. And honestly, if Randle would have played today, we'd still lost. So,
Reaper says, I don't think there's no correlation. We would have just sucked anyway.
Yeah, we he sucked, and we're struggling because we've been leaning on him, right? We leaned on him last year, and he came through for us big time. But this year, he's been terrible, and it's not even just we've been saying, it's not even just the fact that efficiency is down. It's the effort, it's the IQ, everything is just down. And so you can't, what are you supposed to do? You can't, So I'm not saying bench him, but he needs to be more of a role player. Just get him his shots so he can take open shots, or where he doesn't have to dribble and make plays for others. That's really what that needs to be. But that's pretty much what I got. Thank you guys for taking my call, and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
I'm Happy New Year to you too, man.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year to you too, Reaper. Thanks for calling, man. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy, Reaper. I'm going to get to these. Yo, Tommy Beer, man. Tommy Beer is the stats dude on Twitter. Hit us with these stats the other day. 99.4 points per 100 possessions with Julius Randle on the court. 124.4 per 100 possessions with Julius Randle on the bench. So theoretically, we are about 25 points better with the Randle on the bench. Today we didn't prove it quite, but we got another day to prove it. We got another day to prove if the theories are, an actual fact. Because you kind of know what happens when you bringing up the bench. These bench plus minus facts do look good, and they deserve to look good. But when you have the bench versus the starters, when you have extended minutes, when you have more sample size of what's happening on the court for longer stretches, sometimes numbers can look different. And if they start to look the same with given more time, then you really know the numbers are real. Statistics 101. The longer sample size you have, the more true to life it is. So like, someone can do it for 5 minutes, but can they do it for 25 minutes?
Yeah, and I also want to point out something interesting that Big Reaper said about Randle being a role player. It's not necessarily Randle being a role player, but think about this though. The times you see Randle on the court this year, how many times have other players set up easy shots for him?
Right. Which is why I was excited. When Kemba Walker started to do his thing, because I feel like, all right, this might be his chance to actually be a role player ish. Second option was second option. What Reapers might be referring to is having him do maybe even a third option. That's how I feel like that's what he's trying to say right now. Which I don't completely agree with, because even the first year I saw RJ, I was pretty much thinking that his passing chops and his feel for the game as far as a passer, to me, was already higher than Randle's. So
yeah,
but I just thought it might take some time to develop that.
Yeah, because I think right now, because Randle is struggling right now, maybe for Randle it would benefit him if we actually had other players trying to set up easy shots for him, rather than Randle rather than giving Randle the ball in situations where you always got to take players on one-on-one and try to create off the dribble or whatever the case may be. Like, why not try to shift the offense to where you're getting easier shots for Randle? Maybe if you get easier shots for Randle and get him more into a rhythm, maybe he might turn back into old Randle from last year. Maybe. I'm just saying.
I agree, man. Like, I mean, that was the success of the Hawks game. The success of the Hawks game was we ran pick and roll through Kemba, and Randle was a guy rolling or popping out, but Randle has some one hit shots, and two, actually know what to do when the defense is shifting. Like, I feel like all year he's been passing when he's been shooting, and shooting when he's supposed to be passing, even when it's set up for him. It's like, even when it's set up for him, like, don't have to do nothing, just eat. Just eat, and he won't eat sometimes. But that's the enigma, which is Randle. But I might be more comfortable with like Kemba A, Barrett B, Randle C. It might be worth trying to experiment with those type of rotations, and with regard to who's running the offense. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Just make it more simple for him. Make it more simple to where he's not the first option, where when he gets the ball, it's like a simple decision. It's either you're wide open and you shoot it,
right,
or you just make a quick move to the basket and just finish out the rim and just make the game simple for him.
Exactly. And if RJ can finish at the basket at the rate he was today, then we'll be fine. He just needs to keep that same energy up. All right. Shout out to my guy JT. This is a $4.99 super chat. He says, "Happy New Year, all 82." Yeah. Shout out to my guy. All right. Next caller up, we got Emil from Australia. Emil, let us know what you want to talk about, Emil.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So I just want to say that I'm not too upset about the loss.
Okay.
Just because that when you have like your most higher usage player out, which I'm not, it's going to take a while to gel. Like Randle has the ball in his hand majority of the time. It's not going to be easy to just mess straight away. Like just put Obi in the starting lineup, and our team couldn't make any shots, like including the wide open threes. RJ Barrett played pretty good, but then and our defense was good enough to win the game. We just couldn't make shots. Like 95 points, I think you could win very easily with that type of defense.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish that Tibbs staggered the minutes a bit more to get Obi and quickly together a bit more.
Absolutely. You read my mind.
Yeah.
I was about to say that next.
I didn't understand why they didn't play together, because that's when Obi like shines the most, when he has quickly.
I agree.
But yeah, we're so close to getting the lead, and then this like Mike Muscala threes or whatever it is. I don't get why they're leaving him so open. Like the guys, I heard Breen say like he's sixth in shooting percentage in the league like 50 times, and they're still leaving him open.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Mitchell's problem, because he's not the best 3-point perimeter defender. but I think we need to break down the defense more. But we didn't have Kemba or Rose, who would have helped with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that problem is going to last until we sign a legitimate point guard. We're not going to be able to create easy shots for any players. Like today, it felt like every shot was difficult other than RJ.
Right.
It didn't feel like we could break down the defense. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And RJ definitely had success. And I already know, I think I said this, like our best ISO scorers have been, when I say ISO scorers, I mean guards off the dribble, have been Derrick Rose, IQ, and Kemba as well. With McBride, I've seen him have some success off the pick. I seen one pick today, and I think he actually scored off that one pick I seen him. I think that was like in maybe the second or third quarter where he shot his little mid-range shot that he likes to shoot. Maybe we mix, like I said, maybe we mix it up, have RJ do some picks, have a pick and roll with McBride and sometimes get him going, and maybe we'll have to diversify our offense a little bit more, because the defense, as bad as it was from three, we still had them to 95 points, but maybe we can get our offense started somehow.
Yeah. They looked lost today, to be honest. I feel like they didn't know what to do without Randle, it's fine because you run the offense through Randle all the time. That's all they know at this point. Right. Tibbs hasn't really given them any reason to think differently. But yeah, one more thing. Can you just imagine SGA in a Knicks uniform? That guy is not normal. He's so good.
Who?
If SGA, Shea.
Oh man.
Yeah, trust me, we've been thinking about that for a while now.
Definitely been thinking about it, and the way he's performing now, it seems less and less likely.
Yeah, 100%.
He's man.
He's
a problem.
I wanted my dream Knicks player was Donovan Mitchell, but sometimes I'd rather SGA over Donovan, but it's hard to say. Donovan's carrying the Jazz, and they're the top four in the West.
Right.
And SGA, but SGA is a crazy player. He does not stop until he gets to the rim. I love a player like that, and Tibbs would love him.
Absolutely. And you know what? Utah's a better team. And it's nothing against Donovan, but you should put SGA on the Utah's team. He'll look a whole lot better scoring 30 points in the last 4 games. So
sure.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. SGA is a hell of a player, man.
Yeah.
All right. Yo, shout out to you, Nell. Thanks a lot. Thank you for calling.
No worries, man. All good. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good night.
You too, man.
All right, man. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to Civil Analytics. Fritz Alessandor. Shout out to Eric Ward. He says, Happy New Year, JL's the truth. Gunshots for that. All right. Shout out to Repping Old School Picks for Timmy. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. Yeah, I think I'm in the show right now. You got some? Do you have any ooh picks, any bro picks you wanna talk about?
Ooh picks and bro picks. Actually, there was a bro pick I had the other day, man. Because your guy Westbrook. I think this dude's going Shaq in the full MVP this year. The way he's been. Cause I don't know what's up with my man lately. The other day, I forgot I forgot who it was, but they showed a play where, you know how Westbrook loves that mid range, near the free throw line from the side. He likes to bank it off the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So my guy did his patented mid range shot off the glass, but instead of it going off the glass, it went off the top of the backboard. I was like, yo,
that's a bruh. It's definitely a bruh. Yo, somebody missed the dunk.
Oh yeah. Kevin Porter Jr. for the Rockets.
There you go. Kevin Porter Jr. for the Rockets.
Yeah, wide open two-handed dunk, yo.
Yeah, yep. Kevin Porter Jr., Miss Jan for the Rockets is definitely probably the top bruh pick. Competing with Russell Westbrook, UFO. And shout out to the White House. The White House put a press release out that said UFOs exist. They might have just saw Russell Westbrook shoot a free throw. So,
and you know what's funny about it though? What? That same game, No, I don't think it was a different game because Westbrook's been bricking lately. I forgot who it was on the wing on the Lakers, but this dude was being pressured on the wing, and Westbrook was wide open in the corner, and my man was not passing the ball. He just kept on trying to dribble through the pressure to try to get to the rim and would not pass Westbrook the ball because he's been bricking it lately.
Yeah, man. Dudes, people were talking about trading for Westbrook like 2 weeks ago. Literally, I feel like 2 weeks ago, and I'm glad that we did not do that. And he's been one of our, Scorpio gang. He's been one of our favorite players. Yeah. But that ship has sailed. So.
Yeah, not this season.
Not this season. I'm good on that. I'm good on Westbrook, man. Next game up, Knicks versus Raptors on Sunday at 3:30. Be there, be square. I'm pretty sure RJ's always up for the Raptors game. Always up. I just don't want him to be over aggressive sometimes. I feel like he gets in his head when we play the Raptors a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're gonna need RJ and we're gonna need to make shots. So we'll definitely be here talking Knicks Raptors. And hopefully we pull out that win. You know what I mean?
Yes, as well. Let's start the new year off right.
Facts, man. Facts. On this road to 500 because we almost got here today. The Raptors are going to be a tough team. But hopefully you can figure some stuff out. We have a day between that. So Knicks offense, man, I think we need to try to diversify the offense. Hopefully Tibbs as well is kind of diversifying the offense and trying to put some little wrinkles in. Try to survive with life without Randle. All right. All right. That is our show. Ryan, let us know where we can find you, sir.
You can find me on Instagram at Sir G is Chillin'.
Sir G is Chillin'.
That's SIR. G is CHILLIN. You can also find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. All
right. You can also find follow us on you can also follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. We're teetering, man. We're like around 30 followers away from 10K followers. I would love 10K followers before the season ends. So definitely, if you want to follow us anywhere, follow us on YouTube, of course. Hit that like and subscribe button. But also follow us on Instagram. All right. And I'm sure Fritz is probably putting that link in the chat. Also, you can get our, the black and white and blue and orange. KOT snapbacks at thenickoftimeshow.com/catalog. You can see Ryan's rocking his right now as well. So definitely go there and do that. And check out the blog as well at thenickoftimeshow.com. Latest piece written by Ken, who gives like a little outlook of the Knicks schedule and what we have to do to get things done. All right. Happy New Year, guys. See you next year. That is our show. We are out of here, and as always, shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess. It's a mess out here, all right? That is our show. We out of here.
Happy New Year.